export it. So this is the pre-surgery diet guidelines. It is being recorded, and Nathan usually sends out the recorded version afterwards. But I do want to tell you also that if you go to the NBC site and you go all the way to the bottom and you click support and scroll all the way to the bottom of that page, I have a bunch of videos there. So those might be helpful as well, because you will get this, same information in a different way. And so you can always go there as well to, because sometimes it's easier to watch a video versus read a packet. So anyways, for the, to be mindful of the time, as I'm talking, feel free to ask questions in the question box. And I'm not ignoring you, but I do not answer the questions until the end. Just to be mindful of the time, because there can be so much to talk about in just 1 hour. But I will answer it, but a lot of times what you'll find is I will answer it at a different time. But go ahead and write your questions up, and then we'll look at them at the very end. All right, so let's get started here. Okay, so for those of you that don't know me, I am a dietitian here with NBC. I have my master's degree. I'm also a certified health coach. I've pretty much been in the weight loss industry my entire profession, but specialized in bariatrics for probably, I think, about 12 years now. I'm also a certified NLP, that's neuro-linguistic programming. That's looking more at the mind-body connection. I teach also emotional eating webinars each month. So NLP is tools that will help more from that perspective. And I actually got into all of this to help myself. I didn't have surgery, but I was morbidly obese. And then for those of you, go ahead and write my email down. It's prudence@sources.com. We do have another dietitian, Kelly, who many of you may have already been getting the pre and post-surgery diets from. So if you already have her contact information, you've already have a rapport with her, by all means continue to send your questions her way as well. So, okay. So the purpose, a lot of times people get confused and they think that the pre-surgery diet is about weight loss, and it's not. Weight loss is an outcome, but really the pre-op diet is to shrink the liver, because in the surgery they lift the liver up, and so obviously the fattier it is, the harder it is to lift up. So the whole purpose of this is to shrink the liver, to make it easier to do surgery, to decrease the risks of complications. And great if you lose weight, but if you don't lose that much weight, that's fine too, because it is about decreasing the liver and decreasing the complication rates. The main point of this surgery is sugar and processed foods. That's how you shrink the liver, is cutting out all or the majority of your sugars. So everybody seems to say, okay, when do I start? It's different for each person. And if you're somebody who hasn't even had surgery scheduled yet, but you're just trying to get more involved, learn, that's awesome. And a lot of these things you can put into practice before you need to. So, because you guys make so many changes with bariatric surgery, a lot of times people say, oh, people think that having bariatric surgery, you're taking the easy way out, and it's the farthest from the truth. I mean, you guys have to make so many behavior changes. It's definitely a lot of work, but it's worth it, because the surgery itself is the strongest tool for weight loss. There's nothing stronger as a tool out there other than surgery for long-term weight loss. So going back to when do you start? Usually it's 2 weeks, but it's based on your BMI. So usually the coordinator, you'll be assigned a not usually, you will be assigned a coordinator, and they'll go over all this information with you. But usually if you have a BMI of 50 or over, you're doing somewhere of 3 to 4 weeks. I've had people that have had BMIs of 70 and they're doing about 8 weeks. If your BMI is under 35, it's usually 7 to 10 days. But if you have a BMI of basically 40 to 50, it's 2 weeks. But your coordinator will give you your exact time. Preparing your gut. This is really important. If you guys are on the Facebook support page, you'll see people have problems with nausea, diarrhea, and there's a lot of reasons why this is happening afterwards. A lot of it has to do with their diet. They probably had a really high sugar, high fat diet prior to surgery. I call it the Last Supper syndrome, where people binge and eat all this crap right before surgery because they think they're never going to be able to eat that food again, and that's a lie. You pretty much, long term, you pretty much can eat all foods. So you just can't eat as much of them. You're not going to go to a buffet and pig out, but that's the point of having surgery. But I would start on getting a really good probiotic. I personally love raw. And because when you're looking at a probiotic, there's two things you need. You have to have at least 50 billion units. So 50 billion or more. I use raw. Actually, if you're a woman, raw has a woman's version that has 85 billion. Overall, this ultimate care one would be fine too. But as long as it has 50 billion units or more, you're fine. But then you also want to look at how many strands. So like I just was working with a lady yesterday, and she brought her probiotic into me, and she said it was 100 billion units, but it was one strand, one. So that's why sometimes you can get really cheap probiotics, but they're not doing you any good. I mean, I've had so many people they're already taking probiotics, but they switch over to the raw version and they instantly notice a difference. But you want to strengthen your gut, you want to get it ready for surgery, this is the best way you can do it. So you can see here, this one has 34 different strains. So the more strains it has, the better it is, and you want at least 50 billion. By far, I think the raw version is probably one of the best probiotics out there. It's a little expensive, but it's worth it. And if you start, I mean, ideally you want to start 6 weeks prior to surgery, but wherever you are, start taking it now. And basically you're just going to start healing your gut. You're going to start strengthening it. So you're not going to have a lot of the complications that come after surgery with the diarrhea, nausea, and stuff like that, because you're already working on fixing your stomach. All right. Creating an alkaline environment. So one of the other side effects after surgery is acid reflux. And you see it constantly on Facebook. I can't even drink water. I can't get any food down. It's because most of us, our bodies are very acidic. Disease can only grow in an acidic environment. So this is something you can do all the time, not just for surgery, but to help your body be in an alkaline environment, is to take in foods, take in supplements that cause your body to be more alkaline. A simple way you can do that is apple cider vinegar. I recommend the Bragg's organic version because it's one of the purest versions you can get. All you need to do is drink like somewhere between 1 and 2 tablespoons a day. I do mine in a little shot glass. I do 1 tablespoon and I fill it up with water, and then I hold my breath and I drink it. I kind of put my little glass right by you know my the pot that I boil water in, because I make Ticknor in the morning. Sorry. So I do that first and then have my Ticino, which is like an herbal coffee. But lemon will do that. So squeezing lemon in your water and doing this 1 tablespoon, this is all helping you prepare your body to have the best outcome after surgery. And the more you do the things that I recommend, I mean, some people are like, it's the post surgery is horrific. And then you'll see other people that it was smooth sailing. And a lot of people that are the smooth sailing, I didn't have any problems at all. Those are the people that are doing everything that I'm recommending. The more things you do, the more you set yourself up to have a peaceful transition. Alrighty. Creating an alkaline environment. So I already talked. You can do the apple cider vinegar, squeezing lemons in your water, a lot of your green food. So like I have a shake every day and I put kale or spinach in it. But the two biggest things I think if you don't do anything else right now is the lemons in your water and the apple cider vinegar. Okay, the general overview of the actual diet is 2 to 3 protein drinks per day, and you can eat as many raw or cooked vegetables. So that's totally unlimited as the vegetables. Potatoes do not fall. Potatoes, sweet potatoes, um, are a starch. They're not a vegetable. Peas and carrots are a starch, not a vegetable. So no peas, no carrots. I mean, I'm sorry, not carrots, no corn. I apologize. No peas, no corn, um, no potatoes, sweet potatoes. And then you can have 2 4-ounce servings of lean protein. So basically 2 meals. So it's going to go either, let me go back. So basically, you're going to either have 2 to 3 protein shakes in 1 meal, or you can have 2 to 3 protein shakes and 2 meals. That's really up to you. Because some of you are going to choose a protein drink that has 100 calories, and 3 of those a day is going to be 300 calories. You're going to feel like you're starving. So you're going to want 2 meals. There's other shakes out there, especially if you make your own, that you can get those shakes up to like 300 calories. You really, if it's going to replace a meal, you really want your shakes to be between 250 and ideally 300 calories. So, because it's supposed to be a meal replacement. But if you've gotten the shakes, like a lot of those pre-made shakes out there are just like 100, 110 calories. That's not enough. So you're going to want 2 meals a day. So, in the meals you want to have at least, people get confused. You need to have a minimum of 4 ounces of protein. This is what's going to help you feel satisfied, help you feel full. If you want to eat more than 4 ounces of protein, it's totally fine. Remember, we're looking at sugars and processed foods. That's what we really want to eliminate. So you need at least 4 ounces of protein, but if you want more, that is okay. You need in the meal, you need to have 1 to 2 servings of healthy fat. So if you're making a salad, you have your 4 ounces of chicken or 4 ounces of tuna, 4 ounces of fish, whatever, salmon. But you want to throw in some fat. So does that mean you're adding olive oil to it? Are you adding some avocado, olives, nuts? But identify for each meal your protein and your fat. Now, I think I talk about this a little bit later, but I'm going to say it now too. You might be saying, well, how do I know what 4 ounces of protein is? You have to weigh your food after surgery, so get a scale, get yourself prepared. You are doing things based on ounces now because you're creating a very small pouch. Your stomach, you're going from the size of a flattened football, that's what you have right now, to the size of your thumb, which then will eventually stretch, which we want it to stretch a little bit, to the size of an egg. Now, if you're having the sleeve, it will be just in an elongated egg. So it looks more like a tiny banana. You can have some fruit if you're making us your own smoothie, I'm okay with that. Preferably stick with frozen berries. They're the the lowest in sugar. But you also, if you want to have a banana, again, but no more than a half a cup of berries or a half of a banana. Stop using milk products. Milk has sugar in it. It's 12 grams of sugar per 8 ounces. So you need to switch over and use either unsweetened, this is really important, make sure it says unsweetened. You can get vanilla if you want to get the flavored, it's fine, vanilla almond milk. This is something that's very fantastic to make smoothies out of, protein smoothies. It tastes better, it makes your shake creamier. You can get cashew milk, coconut milk. I prefer that you don't do soy milk unless you're going through menopause because it affects your estrogen levels. So, yeah, soy milk is not the best to use, and not rice milk either. So really either choose almond, coconut, or cashew milk. Protein powders and drinks, it's really up to you. It's a personal preference. If you're on the Facebook support page or have listened to me talk before, you know that I'm a holistic dietitian. I'm very much anti-sugar substitutes. As a whole, our nation obesity rates have skyrocketed since sugar substitutes have come out. Now they are finding, because you have to look at the baseline of natural sugar, let's say a piece of fruit, or raw sugar cane, which has even been processed to some degree. And if you've tried raw sugar cane, a lot of times people are like, I don't even taste it. Our taste buds are so messed up that we don't even think real sugar tastes sweet anymore. And that's the problem. So what they're finding is, because sugar substitutes are 600 to 700 times sweeter than real sugar. And I have clients that put 4, 5, 6 packets of Splenda or whatever in their coffee. And each one of them is 700 times sweeter than real sugar. And so what happens is, when you eat food or you use regular sugar or you eat a piece of fruit, you can't get the satisfaction from it because your taste buds are so warped, because they're primed for such a high level of unnatural sweetness. So they're finding people who use sugar substitutes eat more. You have more cravings because you are not able to be satisfied from regular food. So just something to think about. If you are going to use something, if you feel like I absolutely have to use something, use stevia. Stevia is a sugar alternative. It's not a sugar substitute, and it's only 200 times sweeter. So you're still warping your taste buds, but on a lower level. So instead of 600 to 700 times sweeter, it's only 200 times sweeter. Anyway, so all of that to say, I personally encourage people to get a plain protein isolate, preferably whey, but you can do hemp. I have a combination because I do protein shakes every day. So I have a few vegan based, I have hemp, I have whey, and I change it up. So, but it depends on a personal preference. But you absolutely have to have a protein powder that has at least 20 grams of protein. If it doesn't, if you bought something that has 15, then you need to double up and do 2 scoops. 20 grams is really the minimum. If you're getting less than that, it's really not doing you much good. And the sugar has to be half of that. So if you bought a protein shake that has 20 grams of sugar, 20 grams of protein, then it has to have 10 grams of sugar or less. So it's very important that you read the food labels. So these are some of the ones I recommend. Whey protein isolate from J. Rob's. You can usually get this at GNC. I order mine online. Why? There's a few things. Even though you're going to see unflavored isolates, a lot of them have a really bad aftertaste. So I will tell you the 2 best unflavored protein isolates for not really having a taste is J. Rob's. And the other one comes, I think it's called Believe. I don't have it on here. It's called Believe, but the site is bariatriceating.com. Bariatriceating.com has an unflavored isolate. The lady that runs that page actually had gastric bypass, oh gosh, years ago, probably 10, 12 years ago. But anyway, so she has a lot of great information on her site. And then gosh, there's one other one and it's slipping me. But anyways, the other thing that I love about J. Robs is his whey protein comes from cows that were not treated with the bovine growth hormone. The bovine growth hormone, so I mean, obesity is not just about what we eat, I mean, just about amounts. And this is the place, like whether it's sugar substitutes, whether you're eating all these foods with a bovine growth hormone. So literally we are the only country that allows the bovine growth hormone. Every country, even China, has banned the bovine growth hormone because of all the problems that are happening in humans. But it's basically making cows fatter faster. It's making them produce milk faster. And so you have to say to yourself, if a cow is injected with a bovine growth hormone and it's making the cow fatter faster, grow faster, then what is it doing to me? It's doing the same thing. So you really want to look for dairy products, your yogurts and stuff, any milk product that says free of the bovine growth hormone. For protein powders, this is one of the only ones. I'm sure there's other ones out there. I just am not aware of them. This is another one I use. This is absolutely fabulous. This is a combination. It's a vegan-based. It's a combination of pea and rice, and there's a few other things. It's kind of expensive, but again, it's got so many nutrients in it. Oh, and this is another one too. You can get this one at Sun Warrior. The reason I recommend this one because they have like vanilla, strawberry, chocolate, and actually J. Robs is the same. So if you want a flavored one, both Sun Warrior and J. Robs flavor their flavored proteins with stevia versus the sugar substitutes. That's much better for you. So let's look at this. So let me give you an example. Purium, the one I just showed you over here, read the ingredients. It's all real foods: lentils, sprouts, garbanzo beans, mushrooms, everything you can, you see, you know what it is. Now let's look on the left-hand side. This is a pre-made shake. And you just go down and you know some things, but processed with alkali. There's all of this, artificial flavors, MSG, carcinogens, which is cancer causing. All of these are additives and preservatives. So it's not just about the protein, it's not just about the shake, but you actually want to look what's in it. And you really want a shake that has whole foods. All of these on the left-hand side, any chemical you put in your body is stored in your fat cells. So if you're taking in a lot of processed foods that have a high amount of chemicals, your fat cells have to get larger. So it's not just about calories, it's not just about the fat and the sugar content, but if it has a lot of chemicals, your fat cells are naturally going to get larger because chemicals are stored in fat cells. Okay, so let's look at this. So Purium is on the right-hand side. It's got 20 grams of protein, and it's got 13 grams of carbs. So this one is a little bit higher, but then you have to look. So you have to look and say, because you want net carbs, which means, because fiber, our body does not break down fiber. Fiber is like an amazing thing. It bulks up, so it helps you feel fuller faster. So getting shakes that are high in fiber pre-op, post-op you're not going to be able to do a high fiber shake. But also fiber is a magnet for sugar and cholesterol. So if you're eating a high fiber diet, your body, because remember, our body does not break down fiber, and it's a magnet for sugar and cholesterol. So if you're eating something, let's say you have some candy, but you're eating a high fiber diet, a lot less of that sugar is going to be absorbed into your body because sugar and cholesterol attach to the fiber and it goes out your body because our body can't break it down. So what you would do with this is you have to subtract the 9 grams from the 13, and that only gives you 4. So you have 20 grams of protein and you have 4 grams of net fiber or net carbs. So that falls within the rule of having half the sugar or half the carbohydrates as protein. Now, this one on the left-hand side is the Kellogg's Special K protein shake. And see, a lot of times if you guys are not in the habit of reading labels, because Special K is all about these 7-day whatever, eat this processed cereal and lose all this weight, right? So we associate Special K with weight loss. But this one has 10 grams of protein and 18 grams of sugar. 10 grams of protein, 18 grams of sugar. Is this something you guys should be eating or drinking? Is this a yes or a no for weight loss, for your pre-op diet? Exactly, no. Oh, thank you. And Emily, Emily, you read my mind. Oh my gosh. So I was thinking of the third shake. Sorry, little backtrack here. So I couldn't remember the third shake, the unflavored that's really good, and it's Undri. Yes. So Undri is another one. So the top 3 unflavored that taste pretty good is the Believe from Bariatric Eating, Undri, and J. Rob's. Thank you very much for that. So anyways, okay, so let's go back to this. So no, this is actually called a sugar shake. There is, oh my gosh, there is a shake at Costco. I keep saying I'm going to add a picture of it on here. Let me see if I did already. No, I didn't. All right. So there's a shake at Costco and it's called weight loss shake or lose weight shake or something like that. And I can't tell you the number of clients I have that and they drink 1 or 2 of those a day. That shake has 10 grams of protein and 28 grams of sugar. 28. But people see the words weight loss shake, they don't read the labels, and they think it's good for them. 28 grams of sugar is the same as a soda. I mean, granted, you're getting 10 grams of protein. You absolutely have to read your labels, guys. Very important. And this one, changing your behavior, just to throw out there, if you eat what you've always eaten, you'll weigh what you've always weighed. So with the surgery, yes, you are eating smaller amounts. But I just told you that there's things in foods, whether it's chemicals, whether it's sugar substitutes, that cause you to crave more foods. So even with surgery, if you're not open to really changing the whole dynamics of how you eat and what you eat, then you're putting yourself at risk to slowly get back to old eating patterns. And you don't want to do that. So, I see on Facebook people are barely have had surgery and they're already asking when they can eat rice and they're already asking when they can drink wine and I guess that's okay, but if you are more of your energy needs to be on how can I be creative and how can I enjoy my food in a different way. You don't want to think because you're trying to change your behaviors. You're not wanting to go back to the old you and how you did things. And so thinking, oh, how quickly can I get back to all the things I used to eat is really not the healthiest mindset. I'll put it like that for long-term weight loss to support you. So just something to think about. These are the absolute no's. bread of any type. It does not matter what it is. I don't care if it's 0 carbs, 0 sugar. No bread, no rice, no quinoa, no pasta, no potatoes, sweet or white, no refined grains, so no cereal whatsoever. Sauces with sugar, you gotta look at them. They're like tomato sauce. A lot of your spaghetti sauces have a lot of sugar in them, so you have to get ones with no sugar. And juices with sugar, again, this goes back to the whole sugar substitute thing. I would encourage you to just like more water. I need to show some pictures. There's a product called True Lemon, True Lime. They have lemon, lime, orange. They have a raspberry lemonade. They have a grapefruit. These are just naturally, it's in a powder form, but it's just naturally, like naturally infused fruit. But a lot of times we don't have time to slice up a lemon and throw it in our water. So you can get these True Lemon, True Lime, True Orange products, and it's in a little tiny packet, and you throw that in your water. I've had so many people that absolutely hate plain water, and they add these natural flavored packets with no chemicals in them, without the sugar substitutes and stuff, and that helps them drink more water. Or you can put natural fruits, cut them up. I mean, I love to put like cucumber and fresh mint and leave it in there. You can leave it in your water for up to 2 days, 48 hours. Again, just trying new things. If you are going to do flavored water, then what do I want to say? Oh, I heard Crystal Light even has a stevia product now, but get your drops that are or these flavored drinks that are sweetened with stevia. For sure not aspartame, which is mostly what Crystal Light uses, is aspartame, or there's a bunch of other drinks. They use aspartame or Splenda. Look for things like vitamin water, life water. Like I said, somebody recently told me that Crystal Light has one out that has stevia in it. But get things that are stevia. That's going to be your better option. I'm not going to say healthiest, but it's a better option. The healthiest option is plain water, herbal teas, and for fluids, and naturally infused, putting fruits and vegetables in your water. But juices, no sugar. That's the bottom line with that one. This is confusing. I already mentioned it. No corn. Corn and peas are a starch, but you can have, my mind's just going blank right now, but you can have the peas in the pod where you're eating the entire pot, sugar snap peas. Those are really low in sugar. So you can have sugar snap peas. I love this. I actually found out about this product from a patient, but look at the sugars. I have a bunch of these. They have sauces. They have barbecue sauces. They have all types of dressings. You can sometimes find them in the store, or you can go right to their website and order them. But they just use natural seasonings to sweeten, to flavor, natural fruits. They do not use sugar substitutes at all. So great product. I highly recommend that you go and look and start to buy some of their stuff or something similar. There's other products out there, but a lot of the products that have a lot of your sauces and dressings that have no sugar, they have sugar substitutes. Tessemae's does not have any sugar substitutes. So a sample menu might look like a protein shake with your half a cup of berries, 8 ounces of unsweetened vanilla almond milk, 1 tablespoon of chia seeds. You are not going to be able to use chia seeds for the first couple of months after surgery, but I highly recommend that you use them now. There are so many health benefits. 1, they're very high in fiber. 2, they expand 9 times their size. So if you guys are doing 2 to 3 shakes a day, what happens is liquids go right through you, right? Well, chia seeds expand, so they're going to help that liquid cause you to feel fuller or satisfied longer. And then adding, this is how you turn this 100-calorie shake into a 300-calorie shake. And then either add coconut oil. Coconut oil is so good for your skin. So part of the process is losing the weight, but then you have the saggy skin that you have to think about. So if you can add, they recommend 2 to 4 tablespoons a day of coconut oil. And it's good to put on your body too, but throw it in your shake. Or there's another product called Barlene Swirl. So many different flavors. It's your essential fatty acids, but it does not taste like fish oil. It's amazing. I use it in my shakes. I flavor my yogurts with this stuff. And especially trying this stuff now and getting it in your house, coconut oil and Barlene Swirl, the different flavors are, and I just, I mean, you can buy coconut oil anywhere, but I just order the Barlene Swirl online on Amazon Prime. It's the cheapest way to order it, because I get a bunch of different flavors, and it's a great way to flavor stuff, but after surgery, it's hard for you guys to get your calories in. So that's a great way to, in a small amount, to naturally flavor things, but also to get your extra calories. So your breakfast might look like that. Your lunch might be a salad with, remember, 4 ounces of protein. And then you might use a Tessemae dressing, or you can use olive oil if you want to use olive oil for your fat, or you need to add some nuts, olives, avocados, something like that for your healthy fat. And then dinner might be, so again, some sort of protein, salmon, tilapia, with as many vegetables as you want. And again, you need your fat. So if you have baked broccoli, you can, put in some olive oil and put some slivered almonds on it to get your healthy fat. Again, if you feel the need to have another shake in the evening, that's totally fine. This one's somebody who's having 3 shakes in one dinner. So again, it just depends on your preference. The key is that you don't feel like you're starving. I mean, you will go through what I call like a detox, because you're not drinking coffee anymore. Coffee is very acidic, so you have to cut coffee out. So even if you're not on pre-op now, go ahead and start to wean yourself off of coffee. And what was I going to say about that? Oh yeah, so wean yourself off coffee, and then, but you want to make sure you feel satisfied. So usually people are feeling hungry, or they don't feel satisfied because they're not getting enough protein and fat. That's almost always the case. But you will go through, oh, I was talking about the detox, sorry. So you will go through 3 to 7 days of kind of feeling horrible because you're detoxing from coffee, you're detoxing from soda, you're detoxing from sugar, that sugar high. So you feel funky for a couple of days, but then afterwards, after you get past that, you're going to feel amazing. You're going to have so much more energy. So this is a typical shake for me. So you wouldn't do so much fruit, but this is one of the days. Love this product. This is, I'm not going to tell you this tastes fabulous. Hemp protein, the high fiber one, it tastes okay, but it's all about, this shake is all about health. It's super healthy. It will help you feel satisfied, but there's no garbage in this protein at all. So it's a little grainy, and the best way to describe it is it tastes a little green because it's so healthy. But I add the, see where it says unsweetened almond milk? So I add the unsweetened almond milk, my chia seeds, kale, coconut oil, a teaspoon of coconut oil, or a tablespoon, whatever you want to do. And then I have a half a cup of berries, and I'll do a half of a banana. But you guys are going to do either or. A half a cup of blueberries or some sort of berries, and a half a cup or a half of a banana, one or the other. In your pre-op diet packet, you will get this. This is called a weight loss shake. It's the summertime, so I don't know if you really want to do this, but this is a vegetable soup that you can eat as much as you want. So it's got a ton of different vegetables in it, and so having something that you enjoy that you can eat in between your meals, or maybe you feel like you need something at nighttime, remember you can have as many vegetables as you want. This is another soup I make. Oh my gosh, the soup is so delicious. It's a red pepper soup. Again, you can see it's just peppers, onions, um, some olive oil, balsamic vinegar, basil. I think there's a few other seasonings there. But anyways, again, it's a free food. You can have as much of it as you want. This is a picture of maybe some tilapia, and you can see the vegetables, grilled vegetables in the background. Beverages, no carbonated beverages. So it's not just about soda, but not even carbonated water. No caffeine whatsoever. So coffees. Well, you can have, if you're going to do tea, just do herbal tea. And again, start the stuff. If you're not already, if you, let's say you've been told that you have a 2-week pre-op, but you're 4 weeks out, start to do this stuff now. Start to cut out the soda. Start to cut out the coffee so you don't have to do it all at one time. It makes it so much easier. I will tell you a great product to replace coffee is called Ticknor. It's Teeccino. You can look it up online. Again, just like your Whole Foods, your Healthy Market type places will sell it. But I just order mine online. It's so much easier through Amazon. It's just, they have the ground, just like ground coffee, they have the coffee bean type, and they have tea bags. So they have different varieties, tons of different flavors, amaretto, chocolate mint. They have regular coffee flavors, but it's not coffee. It's actually a bunch of herbs put together that taste very similar to coffee. It doesn't taste like coffee, but similar. And I'm like a coffee addict. I would never think I would not drink coffee, but with Ticino, I don't need it. And so it's pretty amazing. So you can get that. And also with fluids, you're going to stop drinking 30 minutes prior to eating, while you're eating, and 30 minutes afterwards. This is very important. And I will tell you guys, I did not have surgery, but other than the ounces of food, I pretty much follow everything I tell you to do. Because I've specialized in bariatrics for so long, I figured, I'm not going to tell you guys to do something that I don't do. And it's amazing how you don't even think about it. I mean, I have not been drinking with my meals for so long, it's just not an issue. But when you first start, it's not easy because you feel like, especially because we eat really fast. So slowing down the eating process is a big part of this, but definitely start. And the reason you do this, I call it the 30-20-30 rule. No fluids 30 minutes before, the 20 minutes while you're eating, and the 30 minutes after. Remember what I told you guys. You guys go from the size of a flattened football to the size of the thumb to the size, hopefully, of a small egg. And if you drink fluids, you can't get your food in. And you can become malnourished really quickly. And then also, if you eat your food and then drink right afterwards, you push the food through your pouch faster. We want that food to sit in your pouch so you can stay satisfied for a longer period of time. So on both ends, if you drink beforehand, you fill your pouch up, you won't be able to eat your 6 ounces of food. If you drink directly afterwards, you'll push your food through faster, and you'll want to eat sooner. So I'd go ahead and start that now. Cutting your food up. Everybody thinks I'm joking. You need to cut your food up into pea-sized bites. Very important. It's very easy for food to get stuck after surgery. We eat really, really fast. Taking your time, cutting your food up is probably the best way you can prevent food from getting stuck. Now, people always say, well, what's that mean? When you get food stuck, you can still breathe. I mean, it doesn't stop you from breathing, but it's like when they do the surgery, as you go down at the end of the esophagus, when they're creating the pouch, there's a narrowing there. And so because of that narrowing, that's where you take the chance of food getting stuck. And um, if you cut your food up into small pieces, you don't have to worry about it. And it makes it easier to chew, because you guys need to chew your food to applesauce consistency before you swallow. If you have a big chunk of chicken, then it takes a lot more work. Whereas if you have a little pea-sized bite, the process is just gonna be much more enjoyable. Okay, 7 days prior to surgery, actually, we're changing this. I need to get rid of this. So basically, up until the day before, you can continue, there might be certain things you need to stop, but like the probiotic, your vitamins, things like that, you can take that right up until the day before your surgery. So actually ignore that page. All of this stuff. You do want to switch over and start using Tylenol. For pain relief if you need it. This is important if you're a diabetic, if you're on insulin and taking medications. And blood pressure medicine is the same way. I've had people not monitor because some people lose 20 or 30 pounds on pre-op. Even, I think we've had some people I actually had a client one time lose 60 pounds on pre-op, now that I'm thinking about it. But, that's, basically, so even 20 or 30 pounds is a lot of weight. Part of the blood pressure and the diabetes is because of your weight. So you have to monitor. So if you are losing weight, you might have to decrease your insulin. You might have to decrease your medication. So you may want to make an appointment with your primary care physician. I just had somebody the other day because she was losing so much weight and she was still taking the same amount of insulin units. I mean, and her blood sugar was like in the low 50s, and it was really scary. And so she got herself all sick and felt like she was going to pass out. So you have to be really careful. So get with your doctor, maybe give them a phone call, let them know that you're having the surgery, and have a plan in place. Like if you're not already educated and know how to decrease your insulin or decrease your metformin or whatever medications you're on, talk to your doctor about that and have some sort of plan in place. 2 days, so basically 3 days before surgery, the 3 days before surgery. So, and I always get this question. Let me pull up my calendar real quick. So let's say 1, 2, 3. Let's say your surgery's on Monday the 20th. Today's the 17th. So if your surgery was on the 20th, then you would be doing your bowel softener 3 days before surgery. So you're going to do your bowel softener or laxative 3 days before. So that would be today. So today's the 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th. So 3 days prior to surgery, you're going to do your laxative. Then 2 days prior to surgery, so if your surgery was on the 20th, that would be the 18th and 19th. Because 8 hours before your surgery, you're doing absolutely nothing. You discontinue everything. So bowel softener, laxative 3 days prior to surgery, clear liquids 2 days prior to surgery. This is where you stop everything and you're basically clearing your body out, clearing your stomach out, getting ready for surgery. So we want to make sure you stay hydrated. That's the most important thing. So clear liquids means you can see your hand on the other side of it. I get a lot of questions about protein drinks. If it is milky or powdery, if you can't put your hand on the other side and see it, it is not a clear liquid. So your juices that are transparent, that would be like your apple, cranberry, or white grape juice. If you're going to do regular juices because you don't want to drop in sugar, you got to remember you probably need some sugar. I tell people to do 50-50 because a lot of your apple juices have 28 grams of sugar. Some have 30 some. I think I saw one the other day that had 37 grams of sugar in apple juice. I was shocked. So dilute it with sugar. You really only need about 10 to 15 grams of sugar, especially if you're a diabetic. You do want some sugar, but 10 to 15 grams is fine. Your broths, like any type of broth, it does not matter what kind. You can do water, you can do your flavored water, you can do herbal teas. At this point, you're not doing any more Ticknor. It's not transparent. During the 2 days of clear liquids, going back to the probiotics that I had you guys take, you can do 2 yogurts a day, preferably plain Greek yogurt. Plain Greek yogurt. Think of this as a medicine. This is not for food. This is a medicine. So if you can get down plain Greek yogurt, that's going to be your best option. If you cannot stand plain Greek yogurt, then you can do, I recommend, it's from Dannon, and you might want to write this down, 000. They're flavored protein, but it's your highest content of protein and your lowest content of sugar. And it does not use sugar substitutes. It uses stevia. I think it has 12 or 15 grams of protein and only 9 grams of sugar. So the Dannon 000, or your best option is not, or plain Greek yogurt. This bowel prep down here is, I already talked about it. It actually is on the 3rd day, 3 days prior to surgery. I need to move that. And then I already told you nothing, 8 hours before surgery, nothing. We will go over questions. If you are already not a part of the Facebook support page, I highly recommend it. You might be saying, well, I don't have a Facebook page. Create one. Create a false name. It doesn't matter. This is a private group. I can't tell you the support you're going to get from other people. For those of you that you guys are pre-op, you get to meet people before you even go down there. So you have a network of people. I mean, a lot of times you'll see on there people will post, I'm having surgery on August 20th. Who else is going down on this day? So you build rapport with people that are having surgery the same day as you. Makes it so much nicer to already feel like you already know people before you go down there. I'm on pretty much every staff member is on there. So it is you tag any one of us, tag our names in the question, and you're going to get a very fast response. So I highly recommend that you join our group. Because you were on the webinar today, we have the vitamin package. Now, with the vitamins, I tell people there's 2 things you do not want to try. Actually, 3 things. There's 3 things you do not want to buy your cheapest version, because your intake is going to be so minimal. You're going to save a ton of money on groceries. I mean, it just drastically changes. You do not want to find the cheapest protein powder. You really want to invest in some good protein powders, and you want to invest in good quality vitamins, because your intake is such a fraction of what it was, and you can become malnourished. You can get deficiencies, and some of these deficiencies you don't know unless you're doing the checkups, which is highly recommended. So anyways, we have the bariatric prep package. You really want a bariatric specific vitamin, unless you're going to compare. I find most people, when they actually go out and compare, they have to take 2 and 3 multivitamins to get the same amount as they would get in a bariatric specific. We use Celebrate. It's a chewable. The reason we use Celebrate is because a lot of your chewable vitamins that taste good are loaded with chemicals, are loaded with sugar substitutes. There are no sugar substitutes in Celebrate, and that's why by far I feel like it's one of the best once. Now, as far as patients are concerned in taste, most people, they say the top 2 vitamins for flavor is Celebrate and then Bariatric Advantage. So those are the 2 top as far as taste is concerned. But if you order today, you can get 20% off. In the coupon, you'll see when you order it, this is the website. You go to Save 20 today, or you put that in, and you'll get 20% off. So that is it. So let me go back and look at questions. Let me look. So any questions you guys might have? Okay. So Rick is asking, what happens if you get food stuck? Do you drink or cough or puke? So the best thing, so usually what happens is, because it's even though you can breathe, it's that you get overwhelmed. Like I mean, I didn't have surgery, so it hasn't happened to me, but I've been in this industry long enough and worked with enough people that this has happened, that it's pretty scary. And your body tends to tighten up, and because you get stressed, you get worked out. So one of the things is to sit down and relax, because the more intense you are, the longer it's going to take for that food to go through. So to close your eyes and just relax, kind of do some deep breathing. You're going to relax those muscles. The food's going to go down faster. You can, if it's something like chicken or steak, if it's actually a meat product, what I tell people to do, this sounds weird, but get some warm water and put a little bit of meat tenderizer in it and sip on that. That will help break it down quicker so it can go down faster. Preferably, you do not want to puke. That's ideally not the case. But yeah, drink either the meat tenderizer or drink something warm, because anything warm relaxes the muscles. The more relaxed your muscles are, the quicker that's going to drop down and go through. But if you cut your food up and you are chewing slowly, like I told you, then it's not going to happen. Can you post MBC link for webinars? I don't know what you're asking. So they are, if you're on Facebook, which I feel like you are, maybe not, but it will be, they're always posted on Facebook. And Nathan always sends out emails as well. So all the webinars, but you just go to YouTube and pull up Mexico Bariatric Center, and it'll pop up, and then you just join. So that's your best option, because once you're a member of the Mexico Bariatric Center YouTube station, you just automatically get emailed every new video that gets put on there. Somebody is asking about the vitamin patches. You know what? Just in the last couple months, this has become a big question. I am not that familiar with it. I've heard good and bad and off the top of my head. But if I would encourage you to post that on Facebook, the Facebook support page. Some people use them and like them, and there's a bunch of reasons why people didn't like them, and I cannot remember off the top of my head whether they fall off or you have a few different patches you have to put on. I can't remember, but you can ask that on Facebook. But there are people that love them, and then there's people that don't like them. Claudette, 2 days before you stated clear items only, but Dan and Greek yogurt is okay 2 days prior. Yes, Claudette, that's a good question. So it's a little confusing. So you're on clear liquids, but we're having you do the yogurt as a medicine because it's loaded with probiotics. And remember, I just talked to you about the raw probiotic and getting started early. So starting the raw probiotic is the best option from the beginning, doing that 6 weeks before surgery. But the Greek yogurts are also in that same thing, to really get your gut ready for surgery, and getting those probiotics in your gut is why we're having you do the yogurt. Joan says, will you be sending this program to me? I missed half because of work. Joan, I was just telling people all of these are being recorded. So I would encourage you to go to YouTube, to put in Mexico Bariatric Center, and our YouTube station will come up. Join the station, and all of our videos, anything we put on, anything we post, you'll always get in your email. That is the best way to stay notified. I know Nathan also posts the recordings on Facebook, and he also sends out an email to everybody. So you have 3 ways, but to guarantee you don't miss it, just join the Mexico Bariatric Center YouTube station. Okay. So any other questions, you guys? Of course, feel free to email me, prudence@sources.com. Also, Kelly is probably the one that you guys have been working with. She's another dietitian with NBC. So, again, continue to work with her, continue to send her your questions or call her. Thank you for taking your time to be on the call. Hopefully, this was helpful. And hopefully, I'll see you guys on the Facebook page. Okay, have a great day and enjoy your weekend. Bye.